Dude, how about that car?
Dude, that was wild.
I didn't send you the video. It's like there's a literal car on fire.
I take personal offense if someone gets in an accident and it impedes my ability to travel.
You know, I almost text you guys and was like, fucking traffic jam again.
Well, dude,
and then I see smoke and I'm like, well, this might be bigger than me.
But I just went out to Lake Barkley, Kentucky last weekend. We were supposed to be out there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get out there Friday at 1 o'clock, and it took me a whole day to pack the car, the surfboards and the picnic shit, all the stuff. We get out there in a Comcast truck. An hour after we unpacked the van, a Comcast truck hit a pole and knocked out all the power on the whole peninsula, and we had to pack up our car and leave the resort and drive back home.
Are you serious?
You want to see a mad Chris G. You want to see angry, pouting, nothing's okay in the world, Chris G.
I'm sure it was.
And it was a Comcast truck, and I drove by, and I go, thanks a lot.
Switching to Spectrum, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're real better. It's like when people are like, I don't like Delta. They're terrible. I prefer American. I'm just like, dude, they're all...
I do prefer Delta.
Oh, Delta's better.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the Sky Club.
It's worth it.
The Sky Club is just... When you're looking at that window, looking down at people in the airport, and you know that you're better literally than all of them.
And everything's free in there.
You're better than all of them.
Yeah, just kind of lord over them from above.
Yeah. You have to sit at your gate
Plebs.
in your seat.
Plebeians.
Plebeians.
What is that word?
People say plebes, but it's really plebeian. You know, plebs.
You're too smart.
Plebs are what we used to be before when we had to pay to go to concerts, and then you're in the industry for 20 years and you haven't bought a concert ticket, and then you see a band and you don't know the guy in the band, so you got to go actually buy the ticket, stand there like a pleb. Or Gen Pop, as they.
I am that
Gen
person.
Pop. Yeah.
It's like I don't remember the last time I paid for a concert ticket. Not bragging, but
I got free tickets offered to me, all access to Bonnaroo, and I'm like, that ain't even worth it because
I don't want to sweat that much.
No, and VIP pass doesn't mean I get shade when I'm in that place. It just means I get a free drink.
I saw this video on Instagram today. It was they're advertising these new. I don't know if they're new, but the most luxurious tents you can rent there, and it has like a bed and a power source.
Cheese sandwich like Firefest.
Yo, what you're paying for this is not worth it.
That's kind of the reality of everything right now.
Yeah.
I'm growing my own food now because I can't wrap my head around paying $4 for a stock of celery at friggin' East Nashville Kroger. Murder Kroger. Not Ghetto Kroger. That's McGavick.
How do you grill marshmallows?
Well, he has a chemistry set.
I don't know.
You should have talked to 22-year-old Chris. I was growing all kinds of stuff.
Have you ever put marshmallows in the microwave?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to do that quite often.
I do it for my daughter. She loves it.
Blows up and it gets that crunch.
It's kind of like TikTok careers. They blow up really fast and they kind of fizzle out.
And then they get all crusty. And then they can't dance anymore because they're old.
They can't dance.
And their uterus falls out.
If only people were as perfect as me.
We discussed this on the way up. We're pretty perfect people.
Yeah.
Aside from eating habits.
I made a few mistakes in the past when I thought I was wrong.
Yeah.
When I thought I was wrong.
Welcome to Twangtown. I am David Tolliver.
And I'm Colt Mirsky. And today we have with us Chris Gelbuda.
Good to be here. This is called Twangtown? Woohoo!
Yeah, it's
Twangtown, baby.
It's a terrible name. But we can't change it now. No. Because of all the listeners.
Yeah,
we're kind of grandmothered in. I use both genders.
30 episodes in or something like that.
I had friends that had a band that was 10 years going in Chicago called Cosby Sweater.
Oh, yes.
They certainly had to change their name.
That's a little different circumstance.
Now they're called Turbo Suit. It doesn't have the same luster.
No. I would have kept
Shout out
Cosby
to my boys.
Sweater.
They should have just kept it.
Yeah.
Just rocked it.
Everybody gets roofied.
What?
Everybody gets roofied at the Cosby Sweater show.
Yeah, that'd be a great show.
Man, he went from Fat Albert to raping people real quick. I don't get it. He was America's dad, and then he took off their sweaters.
Well, apparently he was doing it for a long time. He just finally got caught.
Well, he actually got caught because Hannibal Buress made a joke that went viral. People have been saying it for 20, 25 years, and nobody would listen to these women. And then finally, Hannibal Buress made this one joke under his breath, and that's what went viral.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something like, yeah, that's messed up, but Bill Cosby's been getting away with it for 20 years, and everybody's like, wait, what? And then everybody started Googling, and then it happened. I mean,
everybody pushed it down for so long, and then the age of technology came and social media, and it's like, we got you, Bill.
When people talk about cancel culture like it's this terrible thing, I'm like, don't know, man. Mike Tyson's still making a lot of money. I don't know if we're canceling enough.
No.
No, dude, he's about to have a huge fight.
The more people we cancel, the more space for me and you, Dave.
Oh, man. I'm in, bro. Let's go.
I heard Carly Pierce said some really off-color stuff. We got to get her out of here.
Yeah. I know that Chris Young and Lee Bryce are both raging. I don't know, something that's
So there's
bad.
something raging.
Yeah, something raging.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're Nazis.
This whole part's getting clipped out. Jeez.
No, it's not. What are you doing, man?
With my life?
Yeah. What's going on with you?
Right? Doing the same thing I've been doing for 15 years. Just
Yeah.
trying to not write a bad song every day.
Yeah. Does that work out?
50% of the time. I think I got a good ratio right now. I'm batting 500.
50% of the time it works every time.
I thought you were like a squirrel.
No, man, I had to sneeze.
Is a batting average 1,000 if you never miss, right?
Yeah,
So
why is it 1,000?
I think I'm batting 500, 450.
Why can't it be 100? Why's it got to be 1,000? You know,
Semantics.
that's semantics. It's like what you put up on a whiteboard, like Bunsen burners and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Precisely.
yeah.
It's like the crazy hot matrix.
Yeah, born in Chicago.
Born south of Chicago. My dad was from the South Side.
South Side. I hear it's a great area.
Yeah, you're even repping the
People
Sox hat
people
today.
hear a lot of things about Chicago. I've had more crime happen to me on Gallatin Road in East Nashville than my whole life in Chicago.
It's just the South Side gets a bad rap, you know?
Yeah, people make that argument, but the statistics actually don't line up.
I didn't say they did.
We're not
I'm
even in
just
the top
saying-
10 for gun violence.
I mean, I've watched the Blues Brothers.
Go to Oakland, California, and then come to Southside Chicago.
I don't want to go to Oakland, California.
Shout out to my Oakland people. Sorry.
Oakland's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's right across the river from the other place.
It's still there.
It's a great place if you don't like keeping things in your car.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Or keeping people that aren't you out of your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, they got a bad squatting problem out there.
What, they squatty potty?
No, just people squatting.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing. If you get an
Taking over
Airbnb,
someone
if
else's
you let
house.
someone rent your Airbnb for more than 29 days, on that 30th day, they get renter's rights, and you have to. It takes 2 months to evict them. That's
Yeah.
why I'd never do long-term rentals.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Exactly.
Scary stuff.
Things
I'm
you
just
don't
gonna keep
know.
paying rent in Nashville for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
yeah, baby.
It's great.
8% interest rates. What?
Come on. So, did you grow up playing music, or did you grow
I
up?
grew up in the Catholic Church, which
Oh,
has a
my
series of
Lord.
absolute banger songs,
They really do.
like "On Eagle's Wings."
Yeah.
You know that jam?
No.
And he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn.
I didn't think you sang in the Catholic Church. I thought you hummed.
Oh, and they
stuff.
got all the minor key stuff too, like "Glory to God in the highest."
Yeah.
It's really like operatic. Is
Yeah.
that the word? I don't know. Yeah, I grew up forced to play piano. My mom said, "You're going to take these lessons," and it was Suzuki School of Music. It's like they teach kids to play several different variations of the same melody.
I've seen this.
So you do "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," then you go like dun 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 dun, and they teach you all these like primary shapes and colors of rhythm and melody. And like after
like
like 3 years of that, I could kind of play anything.
That's
So
like the EDM version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. It's supposed to make kids smarter. It's obviously.
well, it's an
doesn't
ear
work.
training. You don't read music.
Yeah.
I'm smartish.
Yeah, you're smartish. I don't read music either.
I'm better at being loud, and it's the same thing apparently these days.
So, I guess you don't really sing in the Catholic Church. You don't go up
You
and do
sing.
Do you
You
do
sing.
solos though? Do you go up
No,
and-
you had a lady. We had a lady who was the choir leader, and sometimes people come up and guest sing. Like my mom, though, she made sure everybody in church heard her and how great she was, and we were all just kind of like embarrassed because she was so good, and there were so many like regular people that were just kind of singing regular. And
Yeah.
my mom's up there like Streisand, just going
Oh,
off.
so mom could really wail, huh?
Mom could sing, and my dad used to often brag that he was in the Chicago Boys Choir, but he was born like in '39, so I can't corroborate that.
Yeah, there's no internet back then.
No.
No, there's no records. They don't keep those.
But my sister Mary Beth was her name is Mary Beth Maziers now, but she was a songwriter. She's like, damn, she was born in maybe 71 or 72. But when I was like 10 or 11, she gave me my first guitar, and she had a lot of success on shows like Dawson's Creek and Everwood, and like Brad Paisley's wife, Kim Williams. She was an actress in that show, Father of the Bride.
Yep.
And she was my sister's roommate in college at Northwestern. So
Really?
she got my sister's career started with like a $5,000 loan. And my sister's career took off. And then, she just encouraged me. She's pretty much retired now because back in the 90s, if you got 20 placements on major syndicated TV shows, you just never really had to work again.
Yeah. Those residual checks are nice.
She's just living the dream out in Utah.
Nice.
Is she Mormon now?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I thought you had to be to go to Utah.
People say a lot of stuff about Mormonism, but they've always been really nice to me.
They're very nice.
Yeah. I got more problems on my block.
No, I wore the special underwear one time just for the hell of it.
All right. We need to divert from this. We're going to pivot away.
You're not
We're going
into
to whittle
this.
the audience down to 1% by the time we finish this.
You're not into the special underwear.
I've asked a few friends to show it to me, and they were pretty private about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic.
Hot topic.
I watched
It's
the Housewives.
controversial.
I watched the Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And they talk about it. So
Gotcha.
I'm
I
interested.
watch all those shows.
Yeah.
Well, I pretend I'm just going through the kitchen while my girl's watching, and
Yeah.
then I'll ask a couple questions, and the next thing I know, I'm like, "What's this lady about?"
Do you
She
get so
pauses it.
angry at them?
I mean, I get angry that my PhD girl is into these idiots.
That
But I have learned as a fan of Bachelor Nation and Bachelor in Paradise, which is really the biggest dumpster fire in TV.
it is awful.
A lot of people watch these shows because it sort of makes you like, if you watch a good hour or two of The Bachelor and then you go look in the mirror and wash your face before bed, when you look yourself in the mirror, you're like, you're actually all right.
Right.
Now, if I write beer pressure for the third time this year that day,
Peer pressure.
It's what Jen and I always say. It's like, it does make you feel better about yourself. You're like, I'm a relatively good person.
it's almost like how people go to the zoo to see like a tiger or a lion. You watch these shows to see just total friggin' morons act like idiots, almost in a recreational sense. But sometimes you can learn how to be good by watching people suck.
Does it make it worse that it's scripted terribly, making? I don't know. It's like there's no storyline, but there's a storyline. It's all made up anyway.
I mean,
which
there is a
such
storyline, but it's kind of unintentional, a lot of it. And I think a lot of great art is really kind of unintentional, man, Like on Bachelor in Paradise, if they don't have a girlfriend by the end of the week, they have like 3 days to get a girlfrind or they send them home.
And they put on that push,
So
son.
Chad walks up to Becky and he's like, I know I just met you an hour ago, but I'm pretty sure I'm in love with you. And she's like, no thanks. And he's like, crap, I got to go home.
It's my favorite line is, I ain't lying. You're my type. You check all my boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Or they're like, okay, so where are you from? I'm from America. Oh, me too. Do you have parents? Yeah, I have parents. Oh my God, we both have parents and we were born in America. We have so much in common.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys really like these shows.
Dude, it honestly makes you feel better about yourself.
Well, I'll tell you, if you really, speaking from a music business standpoint, you got to watch these Netflix love shows because, and no offense to John, one of the MDs, but it is some of the most egregiously, offensively, poorly written music. Like a guy will be like, yeah, I feel like my walls are really coming down. And then the scene changed and it's like, I feel my walls are coming down. Like every song is exactly what the person just said.
Is it like you
I don't really know about him. I don't really know about you. It's just like,
wow.
Are you talking about Too Hot to Handle?
Yeah, all those shows. But there's a new one. There's Love Is Blind. And
Love
there's
is
a few,
Blind.
But it's the same. There's a difference between good music and commercial music. But I think, when there's bands out there like Imagine Dragons and Amos Lee getting placements, like there's people that have actual music that stands on its own that really works for sync. So when you hear stuff that was written just like only for that clip of that show for that sync, it gets kind of cringy to me.
By like an advertising
But anyway,
agency.
those people are probably not renting a house for the 19th year in Nashville. So
8%.
I'll sit here on my high horse and keep paying the landlord every month.
That's right.
Yeah. When did you start writing songs? Did you do that early in the church?
No, I have no relationship with the church anymore. I just survived grade school, public school after that.
How were the nuns?
We didn't have any.
You didn't have any nuns at school?
We did have a nun at the other school, but it was just not the vibe. I went to a place called St. Columba, and it was kind of the most dysfunctional place, and it was we had revolving music teachers, and they were all just kind of guys that this teacher dated. And so so by like 6th grade we were singing "I Need a New Drug" by Huey Lewis and Smash Mouth in music course.
Really?
And the guy Mr. Leone, God bless him, he's a beer distributor now. But he just was some guy that took a job in the late 90s and was in over his head. And he's like, I'm just going to print the lyrics out to Huey Lewis and have the kids sing it. And that's going to be music class.
That's amazing.
So School of Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what made me write songs was when I got to high school, public high school, Ottawa High School in my hometown, Ottawa, Illinois, they have a thing called the Fine Arts Festival every year. And they kind of proprieted this idea where there'd be a whole week, every period, there was some kind of arts performance in the theater. And depending on your schedule, some teachers would take you down, and there was kind of a revolving door of which classes got to go when. But I saw this songwriter, Carrie Ott, who was an artist on Dual Tone down here in Nashville for many years. But he was a guy from my hometown, and he wrote his own songs, and he came and played at this thing, and he played guitar in a 4-piece band, and they had 3-piece harmonies, and they were jamming out. And then when I saw that, when I was like 15, I knew.
Yeah.
And then I dropped out of high school for a minute and went to Chicago and started playing in blues bands and getting smoking that jazz cabbage.
Smoking that jazz cabbage.
But the serious songwriting thing didn't happen until like in my 20s after college and everything, because I was like touring around in a lot of bands, like reggae bands and jam bands and Afrobeat bands and bluegrass bands, and all still better than any band I've been in since. Doesn't matter if it's session players. Like, these bands were so sick, but we didn't understand the industry or how to write a good song or anything.
Yeah.
And I started realizing I'm just going to waste away in a van, until the end of my life if I don't figure out how to make some residual money. And I thought, what if I lose an arm or I hit my head or something? I'm not ever going to be able to take care of myself. So it was really just from a place of having to just put food on the table and know that how am I going to take care of my people if something happens to me? And I know that if you write enough good songs, you can do that.
Wow. A forward-thinking musician. Talented musician.
At a young age.
At a young age.
Well, and also because this kid, Jason Reeves, you know who Jason Reeves is? He wrote Bubbly for Colby Calais when I was like just getting out of college at University of Iowa. Mm-hmm. And the kid made like $3 million that summer on one song.
Jeez. Wow.
And he's like bag bands for opening slots, and they would like begrudgingly give him the slot, and he would bring out 400 people to their 20 people because all these girls wanted to come out and see the guy that wrote the Colby Calais song. And I was like, now wait a minute, I'm hearing all these bands playing George Clinton and Parliament and all these things, touring with the guys from Fish and the Grateful Dead. Nobody gives a shit. This kid writes one hit song and he's buying a house in Malibu.
It's interesting.
It was interesting, but that was a different time. This is like 2006 when AAA and Jason Mraz and all that stuff was like anybody with an honest song and a decent guitar part really had a chance. The XM Coffee House was pushing out a ton of artists, and you didn't have to write by like you didn't have to turn a phrase like you do today. You could just kind of write a good song and it just be there. And then I moved out to LA, and then when I learned, as soon as I finished learning how to write those songs, I was working with those producers and all that shit. And then as soon as I got good at it, the format kind of died. AAA is not what it used to be anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's meshing together. It's amazing. You went to Iowa?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Dropped out of that too. What
years did you go there?
Well, I went to a place called UCLA my first year. That's university closest to LaSalle area. That's Illinois Valley Community College in LaSalle, Illinois.
Dude, I went to Hazard Community College for a little while.
That was 2003, and then 2004 to like 2000, or 2003 actually to like 2006 or 7. I was at Iowa, and I actually dropped out with like 1 credit left to finish because I was just ready to get on the road. I couldn't stand the thought of having to take one course and stick around Iowa for another 7 months.
Yeah.
But they didn't really want me in Iowa either.
They did.
The police had kicked in my door a few times, and they were kind of sick of whatever I was doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't like paying street prices for cannabis, so.
You were growing in your...
I was growing in an apartment building, and I was the only young guy in an apartment building full of old people, and I was like, what's the problem? and this ain't like today where it's like you might get out of it. Like, this was back when it was...
Yeah.
But I had to pay the bills.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm like the guy in Smash Mouth.
Yeah, not anymore.
Oh,
come on. God rest his
people
soul.
can't see my reaction, but yeah.
Yeah. It's so sad.
I remember when they had a concert during COVID, like in the peak of COVID, and everybody's like, "Let's go, Sturgis Smash Mouth," and then like 80 bikers died of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have called it Darwinism, the concert.
Jesus.
We're gonna be fine.
It's all fine.
Jesus. So you started writing songs after Iowa, or you wrote them in college?
I have been kind of writing them, and I would poke in and
Did you
do
write anything good back then, or was it shit?
I gotta dig up. You know, it's funny because like the first song I ever wrote and recorded with my high school band is this stupid song, and it's still like my big brother's favorite song. He's like, "Come on, man, play The Same." It's called The Same. And it's like, it wasn't the same. It's so fucking bad. But it's like, he's never heard another song with those ears that he heard my first song.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, some of them, if you hear them for like a 15-year-old kid that saved up money and you know, rehearsed in an office basement and pulled it together and found an engineer and like, I did a good job. Like my bass player didn't even want to play bass. I lied to his parents and my drummer's parents and told them that they wanted a bass and drums for Christmas. And they all wanted PlayStations and shit. So I called them on Christmas. I'm like, "Yo, what up, dude?" You're like, "Dude, I got a fucking bass rig. I don't know what my dad was thinking." I'm like, "No idea. Time to start a band."
Yeah, that's weird, but yeah, we should get this band going.
Self-serving.
It was, but it was like, it's kind of like that South Park Faith Plus One, you know? But I was like, here's the deal. If you let me teach you how to play bass, I knew how to play drums and bass and keys and everything because of my Suzuki training. And not like fantastic, but pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I just taught everybody how to do their shit. So it kind of trained them to be like my little loopers to play behind me. And then we had a sick band. I got to get some video of it, but
I definitely got to see all this.
yeah, man.
For sure.
I got a CD that's in my car somewhere, and it has like "Sunshine of Your Love" and "White Room."
Wow.
And a Widespread Song and a Fish cover. And like a Gordon Lightfoot cover or something. It's
let's just throw Gordon Lightfoot in.
Crazy. I know. I was like, I think my guitarist dad he made us do it. That's a pretty boomery. Hilltops, you better beware. If a fountain creeping, whatever he says, you know.
Dude, I used to get just accosted in grade school because of my mother's love for like Anne Murray shit, like because I grew up singing. Like,
what's Anne Murray?
"The Wind Beneath My Wings."
Oh, nice. My first cut was with the guy who wrote that song,
Really?
Jeff Silbar.
Wow.
Yeah.
They would drive me around in a Winnebago, and I had to wear a tuxedo and sing all these old like Chuck Berry, you know, Bob
Your country
Seger.
like that,
Dude. Yeah.
you're like Yodel Kid basically.
Yeah,
They brought you to Walmart.
I was the Mason Ramsey before
Yodel
Mason
Kid.
Ramsey.
We all
was
thought
Mason
they were
Ramsey.
crazy laughing at the kid, and
Yeah.
he's richer than all of us now.
Yeah.
Probably deep
Yodeling
frying
at
a
Walmart.
bald eagle right now.
He bought a bald eagle.
No, he eats one bite, throws it in the garbage, and probably fries another one for dinner.
Caw-caw.
I remember when I was walking into Sony before I signed at Curb. I was working over at Sony a little bit, and I had just seen the video of this Yodel Kid, and then I walked into Sony, and Yodel Kid was standing right there, and I was just like, way too high for that. I was just like, I'm putting this shit down.
Yeah. You gotta take a break.
I should quit. Do you? So when did you start? When did you know it was going to be a profession for you? I know you. How long have you been in
I
Nashville?
still don't know that it's going to be a profession for me, but
Dude, you're badass. Come on.
yeah,
quit
well,
it.
I appreciate that. But it's like, you know,
You're
all
doing
the lobbying,
pretty well.
all the lobbying they did. God bless them on Capitol Hill to get us a $2,000 raise at Spotify. We're really our particular profession. When 15 years ago, you could get one cut on a Garth Brooks record, and you might make $300-400 grand off it if it wasn't a single. And you know, that might have been a little high.
Yeah.
You know, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not complaining. It's like
We're the other way now. Do you see this douche nozzle from Spotify? And I will say it. I mean, my music's still on there, but what
no,
he came out.
he makes more money than any musician, and he doesn't create a thing himself, and he made it free.
Yeah.
And then charges for it.
He said something like, "It's cheaper than ever to make music now," and some just out of touch statement with everything that's going on
He
with
said
those
you can
guys right
basically
now.
make a record for free. But
Yeah.
I mean, to a degree, he does make some good points that we are freer than ever. We used to need record labels, or we wouldn't have access to a studio.
No, I
And
get
then you
that.
now you can buy a MacBook and a mic, but still, buying a Mac and a mic is not just like a lower class thing most people can do.
Well, and you put it with the tone deaf. It's tone deaf. It's
It
all
is
get
tone
out.
deaf, honestly.
When you
the
put
guy
it
should
with,
he should only say, I apologize. I am so sorry. Every
Yes.
time he gets on a mic.
yes,
And just say,
Yes.
thank you, songwriters. I owe you one.
yes,
I owe you about 10 billion.
100% should do that.
I
It
want
was
to know how a guy in Sweden bankrupted the entire music industry, though. That's kind of crazy. I felt like that would have been a made in America job.
Yeah.
Just like the guy who invented Napster did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He brought
Yeah.
the whole music business to its knees.
He also made a bunch of people think there was Fish singing Gin and Juice, and it was totally the fucking Gourds. That is not what Fish sounds like at all. Remember that?
No,
Yeah.
that song was
So much
epic.
drama in a heavy sea.
Yep.
That was the Gourds out of Austin,
Yeah.
Texas.
So much drama.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember Hayseed Dixie too.
When did I know I could do it as a living, though? Is
Yeah.
I went to this thing, the Durango Song Expo, which is like if there's any aspiring songwriters listening at any level, it's the greatest event ever. It still goes on, and I still donate my time once or twice a year, fly myself out, get my own hotel room to sit down and help these kids and adults.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a place where you would go and you would. I went as a very green songwriter who had maybe 5 songs. And the first time I played a showcase, Carla Wallace from Big Yellow Dog heard me. And she says, hey, keep writing and hit me up if you ever come to Nashville. So I came to Nashville. I played her some of my songs, and she was brutally honest. And she's like, all right, these are kind of good. Let me show you what came in this week. And she played me Pat McLaughlin and Al Anderson and Shai Carter and fucking Mindy Smith. And I mean, some of these songs that people haven't heard of Stapleton's demos before he was famous, but these songs, he's probably got 500 songs better than anything anybody's even heard yet. And he's just doesn't, he's so shy and humble and doesn't think he's good.
No.
Like
It's
I saw him
amazing.
the other night at this event, and I said, hey, you know that song, Tell Her I Said Hey? And he goes, oh yeah, I know that song. I'm like, dude, that is like the greatest song ever. Are you ever going to put that out? And he's like, I haven't really thought about it. And I'm just like, well, shit. Okay.
You probably get this too, but people will say, I'll hear people talk about songs I've written or this and that. And it's like, you write so many songs in a year and so many songs in a month that some you just forget about. Yeah. And it sucks.
I mean, this is something I'm working on right now is like a lot of, if you want to be successful, do the opposite of what I do and get digitally fucking organized. Because here's the problem with me. I refuse to write a shitty song, and I refuse to let someone leave my house or my studio if we didn't give it 100% and go all the way to make sure we did everything we could, right?
We've stepped away from songs before.
We have, and I don't like doing it. But the point being is that when I sit down and write I'm not Jonathan Singleton where I can just walk in and shit out a number 1 in 15 minutes. I'm not a genius. I'm a blue collar songwriter, and I am good, but I'm not a genius like some of these guys.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm so exhausted by 3 o'clock I can barely keep my eyes open because I'm digging in my heart because if I don't care, I know nobody else is going to care.
Yeah.
And I just did it yesterday with Paul McDonald. We wrote one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and it's like wagon wheel good in my opinion. But when he left and I shut that door, I almost wanted to collapse. And I'm like thinking, I got to still mow and I got to go to the garage. I got to do all these other things. I haven't turned in the song yet. I haven't turned in the lyric. Nobody here can do their job with the song if we want to pitch it.
Yeah.
And I'm working on getting better, but I have severe ADHD and I have task paralysis and I thrive on strange streams of dopamine that have nothing to do with anything that I need to be doing right now. And it's just,
I
like
feel
you
like
should see how I open a cereal box. It looks like I punched it. I don't understand how people can open a bag of chips without putting a giant rip down the middle.
Jenna gets so mad. Well, I think we're the same person. I think we
have
are.
similarities.
We do have similarities because
we would
Jenna's
struggle on a road trip more than 3 or 4 days.
Jenna's like, "Why did you open the chips like that?" It's like, "I opened the fucking chips
because I wanted
they're open. I can get to them now. It's done." Yeah. She'll go over and just cut a nice little scene.
I mean,
God
bless our loving partners.
She is way better. She's made me a better person in some aspects of my life. But she's like, why do you open the why? I'm like, I don't know. David has hands make bad decisions.
I know. And to think that she gave up all of her hopes and dreams just to be your lover.
It's funny because I'll have friends and they'll be single and they'll be like, "Hey, will you find you guys find me something?" She goes, "No, you're a songwriter. I'm not finding any of my friends for you."
Wow.
It's like, why does it?
The brutal honesty.
What have I done to this poor girl? What's happening? Yeah.
So when did you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville 3 times. I moved to Nashville in 2007 for like 3 months. And then I got called out to tour on guitar with Lupe Fiasco, rapper in Chicago. Then I came back a second time, stuck around for a few months, couldn't get a publishing deal, but I knew I was close. And then I came back the third time when I finally got a deal at Big Yellow Dog in like 2011. And I drove down in a truck with a bad transmission, and my guy told me, "You'll make it down there, but just don't really stop." And he's like, fill a gas can and keep the car neutral and just pull over and gas it up and then keep going. And you'll make it down to Nashville to sign your deal.
Wow.
And I pulled in. I was living at Nicolette Hayford's house at the time, Pillbox Patty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living in her pool house, and her dad lived in this main house. And I knew them from the Durango Song Expo. They were really instrumental in me getting my footing in Nashville. Those two people, I love them very much. But I rolled into that driveway. I rolled into Nashville and saw the lights, and my car stopped accelerating.
Oh, no.
And then when I got off by Donaldson, where she lived, I was kind of on that strip, kind of parallel with the airport, and the car was jerking and rocking, and I pulled into the driveway. And this sounds like bullshit, but I pulled into the driveway, and the car shook and rattled and died and never started again. And so I'm not like a super spiritual person, but that was kind of a moment that felt like God was winking at me, and it was kind of just like a sky fist bump.
Yeah. It's like I got you to here.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
It's on you
and
now,
just like,
bro.
sorry about our complicated relationship, but thank you for this one. Unapologetically, thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
That's badass. How long were you here before you signed the deal? Well, you have a deal on the table?
I kept coming down here until I knew I could get a deal, and then when I got a deal, I moved down here.
Okay,
Gotcha.
But I only got that deal because of the Durango Song Expo.
Yeah.
And I only got that deal because I was in the right place at the right time. It was so random. I was at this.
Was it random?
It was so random.
Was it, though?
I mean, this is another kind of like hard to be an atheist when you hear these moments.
God's hitting you right in the back of the head, son.
But it's like, you know, I was at this bar called the Cold Spring Tavern in Santa Barbara, and there's these two guys playing the blues, Sultan and Ball, Kenny Sultan and Tom Ball, and they literally wrote the book on the blues. If you go to Guitar Center and look up how to play the blues, they wrote those books.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And they sit in front of this bar, and there's like an Angry Samoan guy chopping up tri-tip, making sandwiches, and they're playing the best music, and it's on this old wagon trail from the 1800s, just like the oldest bar in California. And anyway, I'm sitting there waiting for my sandwich, and this guy, Jeff Silbar's in front of me, and I don't know who he is. I don't even know him. And I hear these guys play this riff. Is this thing tuned?
No.
Well, he does this whole, oh my God, this isn't going to work at all.
No, not at all.
Well, he does this riff. That was an old Eric Clapton riff. But the guy did it on the harmonica. It was like, it's from Hideaway by Freddie King's Blues Breakers. It's a common blues song in Chicago. And Eric Clapton was in this band. So anyway, long story long, I said, holy shit, that harmonica player just quoted Eric Clapton's guitar part on a Freddie King song. And I'm just saying it out loud because I'm like stoned in some bar.
Yeah.
And this guy turns around and he goes, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm from Chicago. And he's like, take my card. Give me a call if you ever want to play guitar sometime. And I'm like, okay. What? And I've been starving in LA. And when I was done, these blues guys came up and they go, do you know who that is? That's Jeff Silbar. He wrote the Wind Beneath My Wings.
Wow.
So I was out of money at the time, and I was supposed to fly back and go back to roofing and drywalling and getting money, and then I would save up 10 grand and go back to LA and crash on couches. And when my friends would get sick of me, I'd go get a hotel down by the airport for $50 a night. And I was out of money. My cards were maxed. And then I went to this guy's house the day before I left, and we wrote this song called Wingman. And then I went home and I demoed it in my studio that my friend let me borrow. And then I played it at the next Durango Song Expo, and Carla Walls signed me.
That's amazing. Wow.
Billy Currington
What an amazing turn of events.
Because you just said something out. You used your outside voice.
Because I was bullshitting. And that's why, like, I don't understand why my girlfriend gets so mad at me all the time. I'm like, my whole life was made because of one bullshit statement. I mean, it was a nice statement. But yeah, but it's, you know, serendipity and timing is everything. And I think, you know, if you want to be a writer, you have to just kind of resign to everything being a disaster and hope you get lucky a few times. Because there's a little bit of that involved.
Yeah, for sure.
More than I care to admit.
What? How long were you at Big Yellow Dog?
Oh man, I was there for like 8 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
And then I came over here.
And then you came over here. What was your first cut?
My first cut was Wingman
It was Wingman.
by Billy Currington, and then Sabrina Carpenter, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying. And now she's like a huge star.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wrote her first single, and then I didn't have much success over there. I had like a Frankie Ballard song and a Robert Randolph, Darius Rucker song, and I had, maybe one other Lady A song or something. I forget what it was, but I couldn't. I was planting a lot of seeds. I couldn't get moving over there, and then when I got over here, I think a lot of the seeds I'd planted there had started kind of matriculating here.
Yeah.
So it works out for Curd.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Carla.
What was your big cut over here? I mean, what was the first one over here that you got? Things
I don't know
started
that I have
blossoming.
anything. I've had a lot of like small cuts over here, like a lot of like such random stuff here. But we had a Lady A cut over here. We got a Zach Brown single right now. That's good.
Yeah. Tie up.
And we got 3 on an EP coming up here in a few months or a month, and then I got 7 on his next record. So
Yeah.
that should be good.
That'd be nice.
You got a song on the new Megan Trainor album?
I got a song on the new Meghan Trainor record.
How did that
I
come
gotta look
about?
at my Instagram to see what
Did
I
you
got.
just start writing with her back before she
No,
was...
she got signed at the same event at the same showcase.
No shit.
She got offered a deal. She actually signed her deal before me, and I was actually like mad jealous. 'Cause I'm like, this bitch is fucking 16 years old.
Yeah.
She's got a bigger deal than me.
Yeah.
But I have yet to meet anybody like her in the writer's room. I mean, I produced that John Legend joint for her. And
Yeah, just don't say that casually. I produced
well,
that
I
John
do say it
Legend
casually
joint for
because
her.
when I say I produced, she showed me a reggae song. That's how it used to be. Like, I'm gonna love you, like I'm gonna, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But L.A. Reid didn't. He said we can't put reggae on here because this is kind of a doo-wop record, and we're not going to muddy the water. And I just picked up a guitar and I was like, bum 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 bum. I was like, oh, it can be a waltz. It can be a 6/8.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, I made the track real quick. And then as soon as she sang her vocal, she's like, get out of here. I don't want to hear you breathing. And she just did the recording and did all her own vocal comps and tuning. I mean, she did 70% of the work.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I love it how you just casually threw out John Legend and L.A. Reid.
Well, I've never met John Legend, so I tried to say hey to him at a club once, and the bouncer's like, And I was like, well, you don't understand. I actually have a 7 million platinum song with him, and
Yeah.
I'd like to say hey. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've angry tweeted him. I'm like, I want to be friends with you. I'm like, Megan, can you introduce me to John Legend? She's like, no. Meet him yourself. I can't. They don't let guys in Grateful Dead shirts and sandals walk up to John Legend.
Yeah.
Barney's Beanery.
You just reminded me. So you're the mastermind behind a really funny Instagram account.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't say mastermind.
Oh,
but,
I will.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Music City Memes.
Music City Memes.
I gotta bring it back.
Bring it back.
It's
Where
here's the
is
thing:
it?
the harder that page is booming, the less I got going on in my career, and so it's like it's a good thing that I'm not on all the day and night. But
it takes a lot though to keep something like that
well,
going.
I hate to say
to keep the content good.
I had 2 people. I had Marty Jane Dodson, the female,
yeah.
because there's a male Marty Dodson.
There's a male Marty Dodson.
And then I had Abe Soklasa, who passed away this year, one of my best friends. And his memes were just, I mean, he was so good at memes. He went down such a hole that his brain never got out of meme mode. He kind of stayed there. And I was like, dude, I sent you a Merry Christmas post and you're sending me, freaking weird memes. Like, let's talk for a minute. But he was committed to the jokes, man.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit for that.
Wow.
Well, weren't you like chumming it up with Katy Perry on that Instagram account?
No, I thought, here's the thing. Everybody was telling me, so the page has like 50,000 followers. When it got to that point, I kind of backed off.
Yeah.
But I thought everybody was telling me, like, you got to monetize this. But I've never been the kind of guy to put my leg up on the monitor when I play a guitar solo. and that's what monetizing that felt like. It's like, I talked to Ward at Whiskey Jam. We talked about making some shirts that said, like, track guy, because we thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But then I thought, I'm just trying to make people laugh and spread joy. And I don't want to become a merchandise mart.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get involved with fucking sizes and returns and storing a bunch of shit from China in my house. I just sounded like shit. And so the Katy Perry thing. Sorry, am I cursing too much on this?
No, dude, this is
That was
America.
one of the best sentences I've ever
So
heard from start to finish.
Yeah, that was great.
So the Katy Perry thing is I thought, well, I'll tell you how I can monetize it. I got every major artist in the world and a lot of unknowns that are going to be major artists in the world follow my page and sending me like love letters in my DMs. And so I thought I'm going to pitch a fucking song to Katy Perry because I had this song I wrote with Tennille Towns that I thought would be perfect for Katy.
Yeah.
And so I sent her a meme and it was like a picture of Katy Perry making like a weird face. And I was like, the caption was like, when your meme page tries to pitch you a song in your DMs. And she's like, all right, that's pretty funny. Send it to me.
Really?
And so I sent it to her and she's like, well, this is a great song and you're my favorite darn memer, but this is just kind of not the direction I am right now, but it's a really great song and keep going.
That's
And
amazing.
send me another song some other time. And I haven't, and I probably won't, but
I wouldn't send her anymore.
but I thought
either.
if I get one, but I
I would
thought if
send
I
her a
get
lot.
if I get one cut off of that meme page in the next 10 years, I feel like that would do the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But then I met that guy, I forget his name. I think it's Tim. He runs the Nashville.tn Instagram page and they do $2 million a month in t-shirt sales.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
oh yeah,
it's
Tim
like,
Gertz. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know
Nice
Tim.
guy too. And
Super dude.
we were
Kentucky guy.
yeah, we were talking about maybe doing something, but like I said, I feel like in songwriting, if I only have room right now for golf like once a week. And if I feel like you can't really do this seriously at my level where I'm trying to get up to the next, I feel like the next level for me is really the top level because I've achieved a lot of the things I want to do, but I haven't had a triple play. I haven't had like a Jesse Frazier year, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I want to be like Hillary Lindsay. I want to be like Natalie Hemby. And I feel like if I try to do too many things, I'm going to take away my chance at doing that.
Yeah.
And also for my 8 hours a day playing Warzone. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
You're just
That was
totally
just during
serious.
that was just during COVID when I canceled my rights.
What's Warzone? Is it like some shooter game?
It's some shooter chick.
Peasant.
Colt, don't you have children?
Yeah, but they're not there. They're 6 and almost 7 and 19 months old, man.
Yeah.
And
Look,
they're girls. so
China's coming, and if you want to be ready, you got to get them on the Warzone.
Yeah,
get
dude.
them on the war zone.
I'm just joking.
You're so
China's-
serious.
Speaking of China, we are getting a Chinatown in Nashville over at like Bell Road and 24. And I could
Really?
not be more
I'm
excited.
for it.
They're great people. They've got great food.
Try the Peking duck.
Try the Peking duck. It's a greater bird than a robin. It's better than an eagle. It's a great bird.
It's better than an eagle.
Eagles are garbage birds. I saw one in Milwaukee. Not great people.
It could even catch a fish.
That's not an endorsement, by the way. They're great
but
birds.
you're so
Many
good at
people are saying they're great birds. I said they're great birds, and many people are saying it, folks.
Dude, I'm so looking forward to the debates.
Kid Rock, amazing crooner, greatest crooner of our generation, folks. I love when he plays all of his greatest hit.
Believe me, I know crooners.
He's
huge.
Did I say crooners or hookers? Oh, yeah. Let's not get into that.
Oh,
Just
Lord.
lost half our audience again.
No, we're
We've now lost MAGA and Mormons.
Yeah. And the Warzone
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, the Warzone. These guys aren't even Warzone buffs.
Speaking of presidents now and former, just real quick, I tried to get a picture for you guys, and I couldn't because it was out of focus, and I didn't want him to kill me. But there was this real skinny black guy on the side of the road this morning at Wedgwood. Not this morning, on the way here. It's not a thing, but he had a sign, and I couldn't see it until he got close. It just said, "Fuck Joe Biden." See it.
I mean, I actually respect that kind. I respect that kind of activism because you're not getting in anybody's face and you're getting the word out. Okay,
Yeah.
that's his prerogative.
It's like,
Spread the
he's
word.
Just, not
I can see why
homeless,
people
help, need
Look,
anything.
I can see why people wouldn't like Joe Biden, so I can understand that.
Yeah,
I'm
it
still
was-
voting for him.
It was
Yeah. He's probably hoping all
hilarious.
the.
I'm
like,
actually gonna vote twice. You
mail in and in person.
hear that, Martha Blackburn? By the way, how do you get a last name like Blackburn when you're from Tennessee? I'll tell you what. I don't think it's by being nice to black people. I'm just going out on a whim here.
Chris Gelbuda unleashed.
I'm just saying, like, you meet Johnsons and Thompsons and Williams and
Yeah.
Timmys and Jimmys and Blackburn. I'm like, holy shit, lady.
This feels like a roast, and
When you're
nobody's
fr-
getting
when-
roasted.
I love it.
No, if you live out in Franklin and your last name's Blackburn, I know the kind of flags you're flying.
I went to Franklin yesterday.
I don't feel welcome there.
Really?
Yeah. I don't make $900,000 a week, so I don't. I can't afford $40 bagels.
It's cheaper to live in Franklin now than it is in Nashville.
Well, I'll tell you what's also cheaper about Franklin is they got good schools out there, and you're not going to be putting your kid through rehab for the first 20 years of his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metro schools. My girl used to work in metro schools, and it's
They're
just
rough.
teachers. The schools aren't the problem, but these teachers don't get paid enough. I feel like teachers should make
man.
at least $100K a year.
It's
starting.
unreal.
Because you have to wake up and go to sleep with that. Like, we complain about the music business sometimes, and it's like, it's really not that bad.
No.
We don't. We do have to wear our troubles on our sleeves and like basically strip naked anytime we write a song.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not as hard as a teacher.
No.
Or a roofer, or a doctor, or a
No.
cop, or a social worker.
No.
I mean, I feel bad for Colt because he's kind of in child care, but
Oh, I run a daycare.
you run a daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
You got the
talking
two
about?
biggest fucking babies in the whole place sitting right
I run a
here.
You
daycare
sure do.
that takes care of really tall, drunk, angry toddlers. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that,
With
writing a good
egos.
song requires you to tune in to kind of a childish, reckless abandon. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like peripheral vision. Like if you try to look at a song too hard, you start writing it like a British guy, you know? Well, okay, are we on the front porch? Are we kissing? Is the light glowing? What time of night is it? I need to know before I go forward. No, you fucking don't, Jim. It's called beer pressure, all right? It's about being pressured into drinking a beer, all right?
It's a play on words. Geoff.
Oh,
The worst of all Jeffs.
Geoff.
Geoff.
I always love Jeffs that spell it like that.
Geoff. Yeah.
You
I
can't
went to
not call
grade
the
school.
guy Geoff.
I
If
went
you-
to grade school with a G off.
I still, though, I got no problems with Geoff. Todd's, though, fuck him.
Todd.
You're not a Todd guy?
No, I never met a Todd. I used to make fun of Chads, but I'll tell you what. You're on the side of the road and a Chad sees you, he is going to stop over, help you, and probably have a cold beer in his car for you.
A Chad.
Chads, yeah. Chads on
Chad.
the Grateful Dead scene. Chads are kind of known as like the frat guys who stormed the Dead scene in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
Like when Touch of Grey came out. And these other people as boomers are like, we've been doing acid in parking lots for 30 years. Where did you guys come from? You know? So Chads get a bad rap. But I need Chads out there. You got love from me.
Just bring the beer.
Connors, though, oof, another bad news.
Oh.
Connors.
That's why I want to start a label in town and just have a slot machine with like the 10 prominent male names, but 3 rings like a slot machine. And just, and when the label runs out of ideas, you crank the slot. All right, Michael, Steve, Johnson.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't research well. We're gonna try Kyle Rock Warren.
Yeah. It was Tyler's for a while.
Oh yeah, a lot of Tylers.
A lot of Tyler's. It was basically, there was a meme going around. It's like
There's lots of Rhetts too. There's Thomas Rhett and Rhett Akins and Rhett Miller and
yeah.
Ronnie Rhett Sauce and all these guys.
Ronnie Red Sauce, my favorite artist
Well,
out
now
right
Sturgill
now.
Simpson has changed his name to fucking Johnny Blue Sky.
Has he?
Yeah, he said that he made a pact with himself to change his name and only make 5 records as Sturgill Simpson. And I'm over here thinking, man, it is so hard to make a name for yourself. What a strange, and God bless him, but what a strange, arbitrary.
Chris Gaines? Yeah.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said, this echoes Chris Gaines. And in the same vein, I feel bad for Chris Gaines because all Garth Brooks wanted to do is be like, well, damn, everybody just thinks of me as Garth, and I want to express myself in another way. And everybody's like, no, fuck you, don't do that. Just be Garth. And I just feel bad for the guy.
Dude, my mother, because Sturgill's family's from my hometown.
Where's that again? Alabama?
Hindman, Kentucky.
Where?
Hindman, Hindman. Mom, I think
There's a joke in there.
Yeah, I know.
Is that
I've
Western
heard it all my
Kentucky or
life.
Eastern?
Eastern, over in Appalachia,
Oh, so
over by Virginia.
Oh, got it.
About 30
Coal-
miles
coal
from the Virginia
country.
line.
Coal
yes,
country.
Yes, but Mom will she'll be, well, I talked to Sturgill's mom and dad today. I'm like, oh, you're just talking about your sons, are you? I don't know. It's like, oh, this is so weird. I don't even know Sturgill. I've never met him. But my mom.
you really hide your Eastern Kentucky well. I'm just looking at you now. You got a suntan. You got New Balances with crisp ankles.
Dude,
Crispy. You don't see a lot of snappy, crisp ankles in East Kentucky.
I got good snappy ankles. I don't
I know,
have
guys
that.
like
I'm
us.
not
We don't
retaining water.
We may not have the midriff we like, but we got the ankles.
Dude, it's funny because I have been losing weight, just been trying, working out, all this shit, and it's like it's starting from the top and going down. It's not all going away at once, so it's like,
you know what? I get down on my weight, but then I did the math the other day, and I realized I've only gained 5 pounds a year since I was 17. And I'm just like, a half a pound a month for the amount of weed I smoke. I mean, that's kind of killing the game, bro.
Yeah,
man.
I'm running out of time and space, though, both in life and on airplanes. So I got to get this dialed in.
my seat's pretty good now. I get the seatbelt's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, seatbelt's good.
Yeah.
You don't drink anymore, do you?
I don't.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Shit's the devil, man.
It is the devil.
Delicious, though.
Yeah.
Gulp, gulp.
Is that called tunnel vision?
It is.
What is that?
If I were gonna relapse, it would be on this.
What?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's just a strong beer. It
It's
turns
just-
your bad feelings.
was
I told Colt, I think a cold beer facilitates an honest conversation,
It really does.
especially with this arrogant posture I'm taking as I
Yeah.
talk.
You're very relaxed.
You're almost one leg up on the monitor
I'm
right
Kid
now.
Rocking it
You-
real fucking hard right now.
You are
I
ball
got
with the
friends.
ball
You got any
right
friends
now.
that are friends with Kid Rock and they casually call him Bob?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not doing that. I don't care if I'm at your house and Kid Rock is there. I'm calling Kid Rock or Mr. Rock.
I feel weird calling him Bobby or Bob.
Bob.
My old tour manager from the McGraw days, Tim Bolin, left us when we took our break and went and actually worked. He was Kid Rock, Bobby, his tour manager. Yeah.
It's funny about
He
Kid
calls him
Rock is
Bobby.
like the guy. I've met the guy. Sorry, you can edit that burp out.
No.
Holy shit!
No.
Probably smelled that through your AirPods.
That's a keeper.
He is not anything like what he pretends like he is. So he's just another divide and conquer tactic. We all got to remember we love each other and stop shooting at beer cans.
It's okay to lose your temper, you know.
No, it's fine. But remember when he yelled the N-word in his bar a bunch of times, and then they said he couldn't be the Grand Marshal of the Christmas parade, but then he showed up anyway and triumphantly marched in the parade, and he's like, I will say the N-word. It's like, no, see, this is an example
wow.
of cancel culture
I
is
missed all
not
that.
hard enough.
Yeah.
We're canceling the wrong people. Like Al Franken self-canceled himself for that stupid thing he did on an airplane, and we got people being like, I mean, it's just crazy right now.
Yeah.
Well, Kid Rock did it the right way, though. I mean, he went out, pardon the pun, but guns a-blazing. You know, he put...
Yeah, and then he went on
did a
Fox News a
video.
month later wearing a Bud Light hat, and he's like, we got bigger fish to fry. 'Cause
Well, yeah, no, he's all about Bud Light now. He's
Yeah.
like, I heard him on a podcast, and he was like, yeah, we've made amends. We're all buddies again. I love Bud Light. He's
Again.
like, I was just pissed off in the moment.
Yeah, and why were they pissed off? Because they wanted to include one small subset of people to let them feel included in a part of the beer drinking community. God forbid. And it's like, these are the same people that talk about freedom of this, freedom of that. They're banning books. They're shooting beer cans because a independent owned company wanted to advertise the beer the way that they wanted. And in my opinion, freedom is don't support the shit. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, that's if I don't like, it's like my Wheeler Walker Jr. stuff. It's like people get offended by that shit. And it's
I
like,
forgot about that.
we write that stuff to bolster American freedom because it's A, freedom of speech, and B, you have the ultimate freedom as the listener to turn the shit off and shut the fuck up if you don't like it.
I'm glad that you said that name because that stuff is amazing.
Well, let's not talk about it too much because Colt is still a godly man. I remember when I turned in the song.
I had to register those
G
titles.
told me to F you. Remember that
Yeah.
song? And there's a lady here. I won't say her name. But she works in the catalog department, and she sent an email, and she's like, I knew this stuff was foul, but I didn't know it was this foul.
Yeah, those poor ladies in accounting and royalties.
They go through a lot. See,
They're like,
people, I
what are
didn't write
these
that
songs?
song, though. We didn't write that song to be like, yeah, let's like say something vulgar about God. The actual point of that song was how many people in the extreme Christian right do things, prejudicial things and racist and discriminatory things under the guise of it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Gays shouldn't get married. It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Weed's bad. It's in the Bible because of one little line in the Bible. Like, dude, no, just go practice your own religion your own way and let everybody else do their own thing. We don't need to be policing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel.
Is that how you feel?
I feel like America is freedom of and freedom from.
If you want to eat an eagle, you should be able to eat an eagle. Like
Kentucky Fried Eagle.
like
man.
Mason Ramsey.
Dude, that is the future of America, man. Kentucky Fried Eagle.
KFE, man. It's got a ring to it.
You have to have a punch card with 10 Jason Aldean concert ticket stubs to get in.
Where do you come up with this stuff? That's amazing.
This is my first podcast. So
Is
I'm
it?
just
Is it
firing
really?
off.
This is your first
I've
podcast?
refused
Oh,
every
dude.
podcast I've been, even Andy Frasco, all these guys, I turned them down.
Why us? Just because you love me so much or you love Colt so much?
I honestly didn't even know you were a part of this. This is something I found out 5 minutes before I got here, and I was
Really?
delighted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how
so
much-
you haven't listened
He
to the
probably
podcast.
told me. I probably just, his lips were moving, and I was like, yeah, I got it.
You were just high.
Fucking eat. No, it wasn't high. All getting high does is make me function like a normal person.
Yeah.
It's me not getting high.
Yeah.
Because you'll see me sitting there like looking at a wall, and you're like, What's he got going on up there? And I'm sitting there, it's like, meow, 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 meow. You know, I have so much going on in my little ADD brain. And you know what? My brain is this way because I had a loving mom and a dad. You're just too...
I'm sorry. That just came out of nowhere. I tried to blow it off to the side.
Wow.
You just burped
I
too.
can't talk about my late father after a burp like that, all right?
My dad's dead.
You're
too.
so offensive.
Huh? Go ahead.
I had creative parents that anything I wanted to do with a crayon or a marker or a paintbrush or a piano, they went out of their way to make sure I could try to do that. And so it's their fault I have ADD because they're like, you can do anything you want. And I'm like, okay. And
Well, it's because of the Suzuki motorcycle.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, 100%.
I look like Bowser on one of them things. Throwing fucking banana
The
peels.
Mario Kart. Yeah.
Denim.
How many times have you actually written Beer Pressure?
That's actually a long-standing joke. A friend of mine, Grammy Award winner Tim Fagan, he wrote Lucky for Colby Kelly. Great person.
Believe me, I know Lucky when I hear Lucky.
He moved to town after a divorce from London. He had been out in L.A.
He was married to London?
He was married to London, yeah, Lonnie London. And no, a German gal. He got divorced and he moved out here.
So many nations you're throwing around.
He moved out here and he's wanted to start writing country songs. And I said, Tim, I have spent 9 years trying to crack this code. And he's like me. Like, we listen to like Wolfpack and Otis Redding and like soul stuff. Yeah. When we get in the writer's room with country writers, we try to take that thing that's different about us, just like you do. You do the same thing. And we try to just take our little Mario Kart character and see if we can get a run going. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's not a guy that's going to put his leg on the monitor or try that in a small town. So I was like, I kind of told him about turning the phrase because at the time that's what was happening. And I had explained a couple of phrases I had turned. Like one was like that song "Working on Me." I don't know if you heard that, but everything you're doing tonight's working on me, but I can't take you out because I'm working on me. It's terrible.
Wow.
I know. It's like, but I was trying to show him the stuff, and he's like, well, "What if we did like Beer Pressure?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
He really threw that out?
He threw that out there, and he wrote a song, and it was actually really funny, but it's just not the format. It's like a Chet Atkins song or Atkins, whatever his name
Chet
is.
Or is that
Chet
Rhett and
Atkins.
Chet Atkins?
I know Chet Atkins, Red Atkins. What the fuck?
Rodney Atkins. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Chet Rhett and. So when I started Music City Memes, I used to throw jabs at him and always make Beer Pressure comments.
Yeah.
And now anytime I make a post, I say something like, from the people that brought you Beer Pressure. It's just kind of a joke. And it's only meant for Tim. And he sees it, 1,500 people comment making fun of beer. Oh my God, I wrote one of those. And he's like, oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he still maintains it was a good idea. I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny like that because people that come from other genres and come into the right country and they have one stereotype in their head, and that's the way they think it should be. I tried to go write Christian music one time, and I thought I grew up a Baptist, so I'm locked in on the Jesus stuff, and I would say something, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't really say that in this," and I'm like, "What? It's so strange."
I know. People think it's easier to go write a Christian song, and it is not.
It's not at all.
It's definitely easier to sell merch at their concerts, though. I got a couple friends in Christian bands, and they sell a lot of merch. I don't know what that's about. People buy compact discs.
What are those?
CDs.
Yeah.
It was a thing for a while.
Generally used for scraping powder drugs onto in the car.
I at one point had some CDs and was in college. And
I'll tell you, they sound better, man. I got a CD in my car now. The Doors, double disc, that Doors.
You listen to the Doors?
Oh, my God.
You just went down.
The day divides the night. The night divides the day. The day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side.
That's so dumb.
It's
the Doors are the worst.
Oh, my God. You're the worst band of all time.
They didn't have a bass player. How can you have a band and not have a bass player?
Sam Hunt didn't have a bass player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They should have the Doors bass player and Sam Hunt's bass player fight it out. Just two MacBooks beating on each other.
No pun intended.
Rhodes versus a MacBook. Yeah. That Rhodes going to win every time.
Yeah. I don't know. I never got into them.
Yeah, when I came here, there was still Tim McGraw and Lee Bryce was the guy I was aiming for because I was writing with Johnny Balford a lot, and he had written women like you, which I'll never understand, by the way, why Lee Bryce has never written another song with Johnny Balford after A Woman Like You. I don't know. I don't know what.
I don't think they've ever written.
They haven't ever written.
I know that's like
It's amazing.
That's such a fucked up thing.
Well, Johnny left. He went to Daytona Beach.
He left 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But he was around for 10 years. And I really hope someday Lee puts that together because him and Johnny could change the world. I'm telling you, Johnny is sitting on 50 Lee Bryce singles right now.
Johnny's brilliant. I know
you want to make your job easier? Go talk to Johnny Bulford.
Yeah, get Johnny back up here.
He's him and his wife Heidi are some of the most. I mean, they really. I hate that they left Nashville, but Nashville is one of those. They didn't leave for any specific reason, but the doors that open sometimes just kind of quietly close, and people that kind of had your backs sometimes just kind of have to move on for their own reasons.
Well, Johnny's a smart dude too, man. He's invested his money well,
and making good money Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
And he thought, why am I going to write 20 days a month and live in Nashville when the cost of living is going up when I can live for less on the beach and I can stream with my wife every day and make twice the money.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people come here and they only get locked on one thing they want to do.
It's a narrow focus.
But just like sometimes you don't get to where you're going the way you think you're going to go. And like I wanted to be Fish, the band Fish growing up. And I hang out with those guys now, not because I'm good at trying to be like them, but because their daughter's like fucking Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
And like I'm going to Mike the bass player's house in a couple weeks to have lunch.
Cool.
And it's like and we're gonna maybe write a song. I don't know. But it wasn't because I pointed in that direction and aimed my sails and went straight there. Sometimes you gotta just kind of follow the doors and unfortunately the Doors took Johnny away from me, but I hope they bring him back.
Me too, man. He's one of my favorite people.
Well, I think songwriting got in the way of his treasure hunting career, though.
Yeah.
Well, he used to go to Lee's and do the metal detector, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Lee's like, cool, what'd you find? Leave it on the counter. See?
Yeah. He and John Stone. I mean, they would call me. They would be like, you know anybody in Kentucky that's got some Civil War area stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't. No, that's not.
We're about to have another one here now, so just stand around with your metal detector. Put it in the lockbox.
It's an iPhone, son.
When Kid Rock and Roseanne are president.
Oh boy.
I love those debates. That'd be great.
They'd be better.
I think they would. I'm looking forward to these. I'm going to make my popcorn.
I'm not, honestly.
It shows you how far we have not come. This is our choice.
We actually came far, and then we took a bunch of steps back. But let's not get into all that.
No.
America's great. They're great people.
Everyone knows this.
Give it up for the great Hannibal Lecter. Did you hear this the other day?
No.
Yes.
He says in the thing, give it up for the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
What?
Perhaps he's having a friend for dinner. He said this.
Wow.
My mind's blown, bro. It's amazing. This is amazing. It's amazing.
It is.
Time.
I really believe in the simulation theory. I think that there's an alien TV crew inside the moon that like runs The Bachelor. It's those same guys. They're taking the Virgin flights up there every week.
Dude, I saw this thing today, and it said the reason you walk into a room sometimes and forget why you're there is because you saw an alien. He had to erase your memory.
Yeah. You're just like,
I'm like, oh,
I'm like, no, LSD in my 20s.
yeah. Do you get flashbacks? I have.
I get flashbacks in my thought patterns. I've never had a physical flashback. There is one time when I was inverting on an inversion table where I felt like something was going on, but I was also upside down for 15 minutes.
Are you supposed to do it that long?
I didn't know that at the time. And
Okay.
you're definitely not.
You're
that was a one-way ticket to Stroke Town, USA,
yeah.
which is where I'm going later, golfing.
Are you going golfing today?
Yeah, 90
It's
degree heat.
4:44.
It's a once-a-week exercise I do.
Where you play?
Hermitage.
Oh, yeah. I played out there a few times. I like it.
Well, it's $30 for 9 holes, and every
Is it $30 now?
For 9.
Oh, for 9.
And I'm just playing Twilight, and every 5 rounds you get a free round. So
Look at you.
yeah,
Coupon
so I'm getting
cutting.
6 rounds for $150, dude. I'm
Nice.
I'm growing my own food. Like I'm sick of this shit. This is how you know you're old. It's like I can't go to sleep unless I got a Dateline about some jogger getting murdered. Like I don't know what's happening to me.
We are the same person.
Oh yeah, and I can't do Law and Order because it's not real.
No.
It's just like, what is that about? These are real people that got murdered, and I'm like, something nice to go to sleep to. This sounds good. Forensic Files.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tape Datelines.
I've seen all the
We
Law and
DVR
Orders, but
Dateline.
it's only Stabler for me. He's my guy, or Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vince D'Onofrio's great.
He is great.
He's a great actor.
As someone, I think I have autism.
I know you have autism.
I know I do.
You're spectrumed out, bro.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I am too.
No, I think it's a gift.
Yeah.
I think I'm lucky enough to have fallen ass first into this job because HR people do not like me.
Yeah.
If I meet an HR person at like some other person's function that's at their company, they're like, get that guy out of here. You know,
Do we have her here at Curb?
Yeah.
We do have HR. Mm-hmm. I don't ever see
I
them.
thought you meant her, the artist.
No.
I was like, damn, she's on Curb?
She probably will be before long.
Where you been on that?
I went to that. We went to that Curb 60-year thing the other night, and I didn't realize all the artists and all of the songs that Curb has had. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. Mike Curb is like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, he wrote the theme to American Bandstand.
I didn't know that.
Blew my mind.
That's a new thing.
Right?
It's a new thing. I heard he was a governor of California at one point.
Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah.
Assistant regional manager. To the regional manager. Got it.
He worked on the Reagan campaign.
Dude, Ronald Reagan was talking about him on this clip.
Yeah.
It's
I like Mike Curb.
mind-blowing.
He's always been on the right side of history, man. He supports the gay community too. So much love for Mike Curb. Signed my paychecks through COVID.
Yeah.
I signed here like 2 months before COVID and the whole world shut down. And,
November of 19.
And we're all like, we're going to try like living on Zoom for 2 years. Keep getting your paycheck. Thanks,
How
dude.
weird was that?
It's crazy. I kind of thrived, honestly. I really shouldn't talk about it in public, but I had my dog and my girlfriend and a bunch of good weed and video games and a smoker in my backyard. And I kind of writing with Lee Bryce a lot. I got a Lady 8 cut like in the first week and then nothing for like 2 years.
Jenna and I played Halo a lot.
Yeah. Halo's
We
good.
broke Halo back out and we finished Halo. Me and her.
Wow.
And we were angry at some time. Kill him, your turn. Go,
I'm still not the same after COVID because we took our whole social circle and we shrunk it down probably
Yeah, man.
30%. But sometimes when you get older, you don't realize there's a lot of people that you think are like your best buddies, but they're just kind of people you know and you like each other.
Acquaintances.
They're
Yeah.
acquaintances, but we only have room for so many people. And like after COVID, I kind of let a few people slide out the door of my life, and now I have more room to be better friends to the people I actually care about.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's one of the best parts of getting older. It's JOMO, the joy of missing out.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to come to my wedding? No.
Nope.
No thanks.
Do you want to go down? Nope. No.
I'm actually going to my weed dealer's wedding this weekend. It's the only wedding I'll have gone to in 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Is it because there's going to be like a lot of weed there?
No, my girl only wants to stay for an hour. I'm just going to support my guy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
yeah.
Weed's a big part of my creative process, and it makes me friendly because you know I can be an angry curmudgeon at times.
The flower is power. It's God's Prozac, as I call it.
Yeah, it's just it makes me just I wish that I knew what it was like to feel this way without help. But I don't think I'm wired that way.
Yeah.
You know? I flirt with sobriety sometimes. I just flirt with it.
Yeah. Flirt.
I'll just kind of whisper in its ear and flick its ear and then walk away.
Don't want to get too crazy.
Hey, girl, what you doing over there? Oh,
No,
never mind.
it's- You know, all my heroes were real fucking high when they wrote their songs. So
Okay. Yeah.
right now, my biggest thing, Creed.
Creed. Are you
Creed.
on the Creed train?
Well, there's a guy, Brian Fraser, in town who has Butt Rock Nights, the Instagram, and he made a bunch of jokes.
Wait, what?
Is that a weed pen?
Butt walk nights?
Is that a weed pen?
Butt no.
Butt Rock Nights. What is that?
Nothing.
Oh, it's tobacco. Here, pass it over
What are you
here.
talking about?
Pass it over here. Come on.
Don't play with it if you're not going to share it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, you're really running down low on this thing here.
Where are we going?
Creed gets a bad rap. Good songs. Listen to him now. Listen to the Creed and remember, Scott Stapp got his ass kicked by his fascist dentist dad.
Yeah.
Who was never good enough for him. And people don't know this. He started Creed when he was 19. They made that first record where they would go and work and save up money and then go record a little more at the studio. And then they'd run out of money. And then they had like $5,000. And then Scott Stapp got wrapped up in a pyramid scheme and they lost it all. But this dude got his ass kicked by his dad, was abused his whole life, starts his band with his two buddies, Mark Tremonti and that Scott guy. They take over the world. And then all of a sudden, one day, it's like Pauly Shore. Everybody wakes up at the same time, and they're just like, oh, fuck Creed forever. We're just done.
Dude, I listened to the podcast, him talking about his
Theo Von?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and that wasn't even that was way after I had turned around on Creed. And I don't know what it was, but then I looked up this phenomenon, and it's called initiator's stabbing remorse. And it's a psychological phenomenon where people all gang up on something and they don't even know why at the time. Nickelback is different. I'll touch on that in a minute.
Boy.
It's different, though, and it's righteous. But the Creed thing is, I think people were fed up with the 90s kind of Eddie Vedder, Soundgarden kind of grungy kind of thing, and Creed was the last one to do it. And they kind of got that, it's got that treatment. But what's funny is with this phenomenon, the initiator stabbing remorse, is that everybody at the same time stops caring about whatever they didn't like that person for, and then they wake up and they're like I'm pretty sure hypercolor shirts are going to come back this year because of this. But like they sold out an entire amphitheater tour this summer. I bought pit tickets to Ascend. Yeah. I'm bringing my biggest dork friend from my hometown to go because nobody else will fucking go with me.
I would have gone with you.
Well, Anthony Billups is going. We got extra tickets. We got box seats.
Anthony Billups?
Anthony Billups.
From the show Nashville.
From the show Crazy Hearts Nashville. Maybe the biggest abomination in the history of TV.
Terrible TV show.
Shout out to those people, Mark Burnett Productions, for giving us all brain cancer. It's a great cancer, though. It's the best cancer of all the cancers.
Tell me about the Nickelback. What were you going to say about that? Nickelback
is actually bad and does deserve to be hated because the guy is. Can I just read a lyric?
Chad Kroeger?
Let me just read a lyric for you.
Read a lyric.
These are objectively garbage.
Is it because they're Canadian? Is that why you don't like them?
No, I like Rush. Here's a lyric.
David loves Ryan Reynolds.
Here's a lyric.
Ryan Reynolds.
I love Ryan Reynolds too. I love fucking a lot of good.
Alanis Morissette.
Tennille Town, Stephen Lee Olsen, Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Listen to these lyrics by Nickelback. I like your pants around your feet. I like the dirt that's on your knees. I like the way you still say please while you're looking up at me. You're like my favorite damn disease. Oh, wow. Wait, now keep going. I love the places that we go. I love the people that you know. I love the way you can't say no. Too many long lines in a row. I love the powder on your nose. And now I know who you are. It wasn't that hard just to figure you out.
Can you recite all that in the Donald Trump voice?
I like the pants around your feet. They're great feet. I like the dirt that's on your knees. And it's great knees, folks. Not like Melania's knees, but they are a great knee. And I said it's a great knee. And there's a lot of other people saying it's great. But Nickelback's killing us, folks. And so are Nickelback shots. And Canada, it's not great. They're sending murderers. They're sending drug dealers. They're not sending their best.
Don't be fooled. The maple syrup is poison.
It's killed me.
I've never seen a skinny person eating maple syrup. And then Joe Biden's like, I like pancakes.
Yeah, ice cream cone.
I just think we need to give Mitt Romney LSD, just a healthy dose. Take him to a Dead and Company show at the Sphere, right?
Put him in the trunk
Then
with
next
spiders.
thing you know, he's not skiing in jeans anymore.
No.
Next thing you know, I'm telling you, he would bring the country. I'm going to bring a squirt gun full of LSD, go to a Mitt Romney speech, blast the guy, and you watch the guy go to one dead show, one fish show. He's going to be like, all right, listen, let's balance the checkbook. Let's stop it with the book banning, and let's let the gays do what they want to do. We're going to be fine.
Oh, Mitt.
That'll never happen.
You're going to change his perspective.
I know. I'm mad at Todd's, and there's guys named Mitt walking around. Jeez.
You like Chad's.
Think of the baseball jokes.
Tad. What?
Thad's mixed.
Thad.
Thad's,
Thurston's.
Thad's, their name precedes them.
Yeah. Buck. Brick. Bobby. I don't know. Just
Bobbies are great.
Bobbies are great.
Danny's are great. You know.
Yeah.
Colts are 50-50. Colt 45, no dice.
No
dice.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking to Afro Man.
Did you see him knock that woman out on stage at one time?
Dimebag Darrell just got fucking shot to death.
Yeah.
Did he really?
No, he had got shot to death like a year before that, and so he's freaked out, and some girl runs on stage. You damn right, you cold cock that lady.
He took her
Get
out.
off my stage.
Yep.
Fuck around and find out.
He was playing a solo. She come on stage. He didn't really know who it was, so he was just freaked out. Knocked her out. Come back playing a
I know. And here's the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
David. I bring up Afro Man. That's the first thing you think about, and nobody ever thinks about the fact that Dimebag Darrell just got his head blown off on stage a couple weeks before.
That's
didn't
true.
know that.
I don't correlate the two. I forgot all
if
about
some,
that.
If some, it's like, I mean, I don't even want to get into it, but there's a lot of people that you and me know, all of us, that were in Vegas
Oh yeah,
that saw crazy shit fucking happen.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my friend, I'm not even going to bring him up, but a friend of mine saw probably 10 or 15 people die that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, if we were on stage and some girl came running up on the stage,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would not judge him for slapping her.
Nope, take her out.
I would never hit a woman. But if you saw people get killed like that, what are you going to do?
You react, and you did. And I like
it's
it.
scary.
Go
I'm so
for it,
glad I
man.
wasn't at that. I don't know that I could ever be normal again after experiencing what some of my
I
friends
had
experienced.
so many friends there, and friends that weren't even playing, like friends that were in the crowd.
Oh, Chris Young
And,
was there, like
yeah,
hiding behind his bus.
He was like, down on the ground. But I had a couple friends that were spectators, and she was pregnant, didn't know it. And I mean, there's people just getting killed all around them.
That's crazy.
It's like,
Yeah, it's hard. I could
blown.
never. You're not supposed to let what has happened to you become what you are. If you do that, it's a trap. You have to break your own cycles. But I don't know that I would be. I mean, I just have mad respect for anybody who can carry on and be of service to anyone in their life after experiencing something like that. I mean, I sometimes I forget that shit even happened because I wasn't there, and I know
That's a bad too.
and that's
It's
how
like-
desensitized we are in
Yes.
America. It's because there's another one 6 days later. You know, it's just
Well, it's just like, oh, something else terrible happened. You're like, oh, something else happened, and let's finish dinner. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's kind of where we're at now,
It
man.
really is.
That's what the world is. It's a constant torrent of things, and that's why, like, as a writer, I can't read the news in the morning anymore. I can't look at my phone before I write. So I wake up in the morning, and I may just glance at my phone and make sure there's no emergencies. Put it down on the nightstand. Grab the dog. Grab a water. Go for a 20-minute walk,
Yeah,
and then sit down with a guitar for an hour.
yeah.
If you want to give the people you're co-writing with a shot, if you want to have a shot to be valuable, you really shouldn't read the fucking news.
Man,
Because if you care, the whole world is a disaster right now.
and everybody just wants
It's
to
kind
break
of hard to
from
write
it.
a song about pecan pie on summertime when you're like reading about Israel and Gaza. You
Yeah.
know? It's just like,
And people need, you don't need, people need a break from life,
and that's
why we do
privilege. That's the
music.
privilege of being an American, I guess. Is
Yeah.
that we got it so good here, we can just kind of turn off the news and get through our day.
I think
Yeah.
our band.
I don't take that for granted.
We start a band and call it Kentucky Fried Eagles.
I think you gain some weight, and we start a band called Slim Pickens. We get Channing Wilson in there, James Otto.
Yes, husky guys,
Yeah.
hot and husky.
And we'll bring in one super rail thin skinny guy for inclusion, like Paul McDonald.
Oh yes,
Tight jeans.
like uncomfortably skinny.
Yeah, but
Like
give
gaunt
give him
eyes.
the smallest comical guitar.
No, give him the biggest one, and we all play small ones.
Speaking of which, you hear what
play
happened to me the
ukuleles.
other day?
I don't know.
I'm fucking Rome Ramirez. He used to sing in Sublime, for 15 years after Bradley died. He was
Yeah.
the singer. And he says, "Hey, I'm in Nashville." He lives in Forest Hills. He's like, I'm in the East Side. You want to come with me to this Fender event? It's Fender has a new custom shop, and they're building guitars, and they're showing a bunch of musicians their new guitars. And
Dude,
said,
I saw this.
yeah,
on
so
the-
I said, I'm wearing beach clothes. I just came from a dog play date at the lake. And he's like, dude, it's fun. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I roll up. We walk in this party. I go in the bathroom, hit my weed pen. I'm really high. And all of a sudden on stage, fucking Keith Urban, Brent Mason, the greatest Telecaster player in the history of the sport.
yes, huge session
Brad
guy.
Paisley, Tyler Bryant, Corey Wong.
Yeah,
These are the Fender flagship artists.
wasn't Tom?
Bukovac?
No, was Book there?
No, he wasn't there. BB, what the guy? ZZ Top guy was there. All these Jack, whatever. They all got beards except for the one guy that plays drums. His name is Marty Beard, and he doesn't have a beard.
Isn't that great?
All these guys are on stage though, and there's no fucking bassist. And I'm sitting there, and Jack White's sitting there. Dominic John Davis is sitting there. Fucking another bass player.
Was Tom Morello there?
I don't know.
Rage Against the Machine? No, I don't.
But anyway, nobody would go up and play bass because they're all looking at and they're like, these are the baddest ass. I'm not going up and play bass with them.
Yeah.
And Rome Ramirez just fucking pushed me up there. And there was no strap on the bass. So first I walk up and I'm taking a knee. And then a guy comes up and he puts a strap around me and I'm just like holding it. Oh, I can put the bass down. Then they come and put a table for me to sit on. And I'm like, my fat ass ain't going to sit on a table in front of these people.
God.
You know what's going to happen. Chris Farley shit's going to go down. And it turned out to be a win. But when I was done playing, I had so much like boob sweat because I was having a fucking panic attack. I never met Keith Urban or Brad Paisley. And I said, Rome, we got it. You know, when that Along Came Polly, when the guy sharts and he's like, we have to get out of here now.
Yeah.
That was me after that jam. And all these people wanted to talk to me, like Jack White. I did get to talk to Jack White and thank him for, speaking up on social issues and stuff. Because you really kill, you kill a lot of your fan base when you do that.
Yeah.
If I was your manager and I sat down and said, I got a great way to lose 40% of the people that follow you in a day, So I did get to thank him and shake his hand for losing all those fans and speaking up on
He's
matters.
an interesting cat, man.
He is interesting. And he was the one that was supposed to play bass and he chickened out.
He just said no.
Wow.
I'm Jack White.
But Fender had posted a few things and I was like, not pictured my fat ass in a Hawaiian shirt. And now I know the head of artist relations there, he got a kick out of the whole situation because he's like, maybe lesson learned, don't wear flip-flops to a Fender event again.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was a red carpet. I probably should have just gone home and changed. But
Yeah. That was pretty badass. I saw it on Instagram.
It's one of those Nashville things. I hate this town. I fucking love this town.
It's amazing, man. You just never know what you're going to run into.
It's such a fickle little slut, isn't it? It's just...
what do you got going on right now? You're happy about? You got the Meghan Trainor thing out.
Yeah, I'm probably. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to go out on tour with her for 6 weeks.
That's pretty cool.
And
we had a single together prior. Might have met a girl.
It's still going.
Yeah.
It actually hit a bunch of big playlists.
Really? That's badass. I love that song. I think that's was that the first song we ever wrote together? I think it is.
I don't know.
I think it is.
That Broken Heart song with John Stone.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
And you've also got the current Zach Brown single. That's probably in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not fucking looking at it. I looked at it and it went down one week, and then Sierra was like, don't look at it.
No. We're all victim to all these world premieres that are coming out week after week after week. And so, but they chart high and drop, chart high and drop. No, I know
it's going to be a number one. I'm not worried about it because Zach, what an incredible guy, man. I've heard so many bullshit stories about so many different artists and this and that, and I've just decided to formulate my own opinions on people.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Because sometimes people's opinion of this guy or that guy is based on their own, disappointment in the way they may have handled some things. And I have a lot of opinionated friends, I guess you would say, and I'm a very, very left-leaning, psychotic fucking liberal.
Yeah.
And Zach is kind of a freedom-loving, not that, I don't want to say people that lean right are the only people that like fucking freedom. But I'm just going to say you're going to see a few more Confederate flags at a Zach Brown concert than you're going to see at a Chris Gelbuda concert. Yeah. That has nothing to do with Zach. He ain't like that. He's actually just like, of all the artists I've ever worked with, he's the only one that's ever seen me for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And he gets me and he appreciates it. And he also tells other people.
I love that. I mean, that's what I love about music in the whole industry is, you can be far leaning left or right down the middle, but, we're all here because we love the same thing. Yeah. And music really does bring people together.
We're also all here based on our upbringing and our information cycles. Yeah. And we are not in control of a lot of this stuff.
Right.
But what's weird is like, there's a lot of people that I really disagree with about whether it's women's rights or race or whatever. But I think a lot of those people would still help all the people that they think they're mad at if they saw them on the side of the road.
Dude, underneath, we're all people.
I mean, Luke Bryan had that song, Most People Are Good, and I really do believe that. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all message we need as Americans right now, but I think we need to realize that even if someone is completely fucking wrong, we need to give people grace and love them harder and not. Sure. And I used to be one of those people that when I disagreed with somebody, I went out of my way to, first of all, flex how much smarter I was and better I was than them. And even if it was true, which it was, it didn't solve the problems. And in fact, it just turned a bunch more people against me. So at this point, it's kind of like, we're looking for a house right now. And my girlfriend said, I don't want to, we're looking out in the boonies. And she's like, I want to live in the country and I want to grow our food and I want to do the farm thing, but I don't want to live next to, some a Confederate flag or something. And I said, no, we'll just fight him with humor. You know,
Yeah.
I'll bring them over a white flag and say, "Hey, I have the updated Confederate flag. If you want to have,
That's funny.
if you, yeah, and just say,
funny.
no, just joking. Here's a
Yeah.
6-pack. I'm Chris. I'm the new
Yeah.
neighbor. You know,
Yeah.
it's like this is the way I want to deal with things. We need to deal with shit with humor, man, and
That's
stop
it.
dealing with hate and fear
That's
and
it.
anger and
That's one of the best things I've heard
Endorse Mitt
in a
Romney.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah,
all
we
be
gotta
able to
dose
laugh
Mitt
at
Romney.
each other
Yeah.
and just be happy and just enjoy all of our freedoms and luxuries
except
we have
for
here.
except for guys named Todd who wear popped collar salmon polo shirts. Fuck them. Put them in jail.
With 2 shirts.
Yeah.
A shirt underneath the
No,
shirt.
Aziz
on top of the
Ansari
shirt.
said one time, you know, he's talking about how people that have a problem with this community or that, and he's like, look, I get it, you know? If you told me should guys that pop their collars in clubs be allowed to vote, I'd be like, no, fuck those guys. Like, I totally get it, you know? We just hate different crowds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hate people that stand up on airplanes when it lands. Where are
Oh
you
my
fucking going?
God, it drives me
that drives
nuts.
me up
Where
a
are
wall.
you going?
Yeah, or
They stand there.
stand up and
And
run up
I
the
don't
aisle.
mean to piss anybody off, but it's usually the boomers. It's usually the guys in the white New Balances
Hey, easy.
or
on
the
New
white
Balance.
Air Mountain. Those are blue and gray. You're lucky. And they're
New Balance
yellowing.
is fire now, bro.
Yeah.
My Jenna does their advertising.
I'm on the UFOs now,
I can't say that word.
dude.
Do you love them? Don't you?
Look,
What are UFOs?
It's the
bro,
it's the
these are
comfortable-
called
most comfortable
recovery
shoe.
sandals.
Yeah.
My friend gave them to me because his wife wouldn't let him wear them because they're too ugly. And this is what I wore on stage with all those guys. They're called recovery sandals, and it's
Yeah.
the only reason I'm not 400 pounds right now because sometimes I just don't feel like going on a walk. The whole world is a marshmallow. You want to talk about growing marshmallows?
Marshmallows.
Put them on your feet. UFO sandals.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're great sandals. They're made in China. Great people.
Greek people.
I hear they're very comfortable.
Yeah.
They're also very ugly, but it's fine.
If you're going to make something that ugly, it better be comfortable.
Yeah.
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 That's
Kind of
what,
like the Crocs. You
that's
know,
what
I've never
God
worn
said when he
Crocs.
made me.
Ah,
You're very comfortable.
Jesus. Where can people find you? Don't say East.
East Nashville.
Don't say that. Don't say it.
In my studio, hiding.
Yeah, hiding. from
Or
the
seeing
world.
you play your one song at your show and then leaving as soon as we make eye contact. Oh, you saw me. Gotta go. I don't know how to answer. That's the trick. This is a secret for all you folks out there that you want to be social. All you gotta do is go to the show that you said you're gonna go to. Make sure the band that asked you to go saw you, and as soon as you make eye contact, get the fuck out of there.
I literally did that with Pryor the other night. I snuck out of
have
at
to.
Amphitheater, the 60th anniversary of Curb. Snuck out. We
I
went down
forgot to go
Hard
to that.
Rock.
Was it awesome?
It was great.
It was really great.
Was it
Yeah.
crowded?
Yeah, there's over 7,000 people there.
There was a lot of people there.
I always forget how many people are at Curb. Every time I come here, I see a new thing on the wall. I'm like, that guy's here?
Yeah.
Curb is like it's like I don't know, that really great place to work. Just want to give a shout out to Curb, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people get a misconception that if you work in the music business, you have to be around a bunch of. Somebody told me when I moved here, you're going to have 3 or 4 assholes that make $30K a year that stand between you and your $1 million, and you have to pick those assholes correctly.
Yep.
And I think that's wrong. I think that's a wrong way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think that if you are honest about what you need and what you want to do, you can find a great publisher. And I found a great publisher for me. And I love my time at Big Yellow Dog too. I'm just really dialed here. I have a team I can work with that gets me and lets me be me. And they don't, we couldn't be more different. And we have a great thing going on. So
Yeah.
It's a great
Love
place. I'm happy to be here
too
as well.
blessed to be stressed. And I want to be like Phil Lammons and be writing here for 75 years. Making all the documents all caps and centered.
You know your ass has to get huge.
Dude,
Like,
you could set a cup on that booty.
Dude, his ass, Kyle always said his ass enters the room before he does. It's so big.
I don't know. People talking about J-Lo. I'm like, you ain't seen Philip
Philip
Lammons.
Lamb's got the
You
best
could
ass
literally,
of all
if he
time.
was standing here, I could take this cup and just kind of set it there on the ledge.
Everybody go look at Philip Lamb's ass.
Yeah, man.
That's our band name too.
Yeah. Laney Wilson ain't got nothing on Philip
Oh
Lambs.
no, big bottom country. Yeah.
Big
I
bottom.
love that that's considered a big ass in Nashville because that's so skinny to me.
Well, she's skinny now.
skinny.
When she first started, she was a little more heavy set.
Plump.
But then, like, I guess the
I still don't think she was heavy set though. That is not heavy set.
Well,
she was
compared to what
100
compared
compared
to
to
what she is now.
anorexic chicks, but she was 130 pounds.
I'm
Like
not saying she's like
I
overweight.
saw that pair of pants. I just, as a Southside Chicago, I'm just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. You've seen better.
You ever
I've
seen
seen
it?
big
You want to see
asses.
big asses? Go look at the fucking tourists waiting for biscuits on a Saturday. And I'm just thinking, like, y'all need to be in the smoothie line, y'all.
Oh shit!
And I'm fat. I'm a fat person saying that shit. I'm like, you guys got it wrong. And what are people waiting for biscuits for? It's a fucking pancake. It's a biscuit.
I don't know.
Speaking of which, what are your favorite places around here to go eat?
yeah, where you like to eat?
Best restaurant in America, in my opinion, right now is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Which one?
Iggy's.
What,
Dude, you're the second person who's told us about that.
Iggy's is by Chef Ryan Poley. He used to be the chef at Catbird, but he worked at Noma.
Yeah,
He worked at Republican in Chicago. He worked at a couple other big places. French Laundry.
French Laundry. Great.
But
California.
he worked at Catbird when it was peak Catbird, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and then they cleared out their staff, and it really hasn't been the same in my opinion. But him and his brother, who I know them because his brother Matt, who runs the restaurant side of things, was my guitarist in my jam band's roommate in college. My band Reclining Buddha.
Reclining.
My band was named after a weed I grew. And it was a very famous weed. It was a great weed. It is very illegal. Like those people crossing the border. Like the Canadians trying to be country singers. But they're great people, folks. Tennille Town's great lady. What was I talking about? Sorry.
Your favorite restaurants?
Iggy's is my favorite, but if you're talking basic stuff, Iggy's, if it is you can't get a drug that will give you the dopamine rush of eating at Iggy's.
Okay,
It is
gotta try this out.
It is inexpensive for what you get. And they have something on Sundays called No Decision Sundays. And you come in there with your wife or your friend and you sit at a table and it's $120 for 2 people with a cocktail each. And they feed you 6 courses.
Wow.
Nice.
But, I'm a Mas Taco guy. I think it's a great taco. I like Spicy Boys, a New Orleans place. I like the 2 Peruvian chefs. I hate Mitchell's Deli. I think it is such garbage.
Yeah.
What else do I like?
I love it that you've given us a list of so many restaurants.
Like,
Most
I
people
don't
are
think
like,
Folk has a lemon, clam, parsley pizza.
oh, wow.
Fucking stupid.
Oh, my
man.
God.
Oh, no. The best thing in Nashville that's not in a sit-down restaurant is the doner kebab truck. You ever been to Berlin and had a doner kebab?
No.
I've been
It's
at
like a
the doner
Turk-
kebab.
So they call Berlin Little Berlin because there's so many Turkish people there.
Okay.
And I forget why. Has to do with...
What?
It's true. Berlin. It's a little Istanbul, they call it, not Little Turkey. And a doner kebab is a street food that came around between World War I and World War II. And it's Turkish bread pocket, and they crisp it up, and it has almost like a waffling to it.
Yeah.
And it has kind of a Euro meat, but it's really chicken and pork and beef and lamb together with like pickled vegetables and a hot sauce and a cream sauce and a garlic sauce. It's called New Berlin. And it's a fucking pain in the ass because it's a food truck. And my fat ass is following this thing around like a deadhead trying to get a sandwich. And every time I see the guy, I'm like trying to be friends with him. And he's like, just take your sandwich and get out of here, dude. You know? And it's not cheap. It's like $14, $15 for the sandwich. But I'm telling you, if you have ever been to Germany, I tour maybe 150 days a year, and I'm always looking for a doner kebab, and you cannot find them anywhere. And we finally got one in Nashville. So
Wow. Nice.
New Berlin Eats on Instagram.
Wow.
Got it.
That'll be $50, New Berlin, for that. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, Chris gets a $50 credit.
Yeah.
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 So you can get like 5 more sandwiches.
What's your Instagram?
My last name, Gelbuda,
Gelbuda.
Gelbuda, or you can go look at the graveyard of my meme page,
Yeah.
Music City Memes.
It's great. Good
There's
stuff.
a lot of fire in there. Go check it out.
good stuff.
Yeah, it's just about the horrors of the horrors of the writing
The
room.
horrors of the
horrors.
writing room.
Not the horrors of the writer's room. Stormy Daniels, great lady.
She talks a little too much. Yeah.
Oh shit! Hey, dude, thanks for coming out here. Do you want to spin the wheel of shame now?
What's the wheel of shame?
You got to spin the wheel of shame.
Oh,
Yeah.
tortilla slap. I don't like any of the things I'm seeing here.
Well,
That's the only thing you can read. Just
Yeah, you can't read.
Okay, here we go.
it's a little far.
Sorry for the mic noises. For the 13 people.
30.
He's just serious.
He's just here.
Watch this go viral and get me canceled immediately. Thanks a lot in advance.
What'd you get?
Wait the Dead.
Oh, perfect. Just meant to be.
What is this?
Don't worry about it.
Chugging beer in anticipation.
All right. Have you ever done smelling salts before?
No. I mean, I've definitely had some salty looking substances near my nose back in my 20s.
What?
Okay. Well, this
Maybe
is
in
going
the
to
blue
take you
door
back.
bathroom a time or two. Or the blue bar.
Blue bar. Wow.
All right. So we have with us here the Atomic Rhino smelling salts. So here's what's going to happen.
Hang
I'm going to take the lid off, and you're going to hold it about right here at your chin, and just, and that's it.
What does it do?
Don't
You'll
worry
see.
about it.
I don't want to shit my pants.
You won't shit your pants. It's
I mean,
not,
I got it a day, but I got to get home.
yeah, it's not going to hurt you. It's just going to wake you up.
Yeah.
That's all. That's why it's called Wake
Where's
the
this
Dead.
been all my life? I've been using the wrong stuff.
Right? Ready?
Just breathe out before you get it over
Is
there.
this a joke? Is this fart spray or
No,
something?
No. We've all done it.
We've all done it.
You're
We've all done
taping
it.
me on this?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, I'm doing it.
Breathe out. Now hold it up. Sniff.
Is that fucking cat piss? Woo!
Hyper concentrated cat piss.
Woo! That is not smelling salts. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, smelling salts in parentheses.
Let me see this. Smells like Donald Trump in Russia. Holy shit. Like his lapel after a good weekend at Putin's.
That's
And another 20% gone.
Yeah.
that's. I guess. What did you say that they banned it now?
Apparently, the FDA said you're not allowed to legally buy smelling salts anymore. So, whatever.
That's
The
what we should.
FDA also said it's okay to put 400 fucking grams of sugar Coca-Colas in every public school in America. So I
Exactly.
take what they say with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Perhaps smelling salts.
It's ridiculous. Well,
Kids, don't do smelling salts.
Don't do
I'll tell you right
smelling
now, that's probably the worst drug there is.
But you feel good. Look at you. You're sitting up straight.
I feel good because
You're
I
happy?
pounded 3 IPAs here. And now I got to call an Uber to golf.
dude, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for
Appreciate
having
you,
me. I
man.
hope this was informative.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Y'all go check out Chris Gelbuda. He's a amazing artist, writer, and he's just one of the most talented people.
I'll be down on Broadway singing Santeria every Monday at Tootsie's from 11 a.m.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
But go stream his song, Tie Up by Zach Brown Band.
Yep.
He'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and Doing It All for Love by Megan Trainor.
That's right.
There's a little love too. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Might have met a girl, Prior Baird.
Might have met a
Prior
girl.
Bear, great guy, great person.
Huge.
Huge.
He's going to be huge.
Tell them where they can find us, Colt Brewski, Tall Brewski,
Yes.
Colt Mertzky.
So we are available on all streaming platforms. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rate, subscribe, follow, share.
Share in the world. Share.
Is Chuck Cannon here right now?
Man, I tell you what.
Hey man, I got a song, dude. It's gonna fuck you up.
Strange in here. Dude, I love that guy.
Chuck's my hero,
So odd. Oh, thanks, kids. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. God bless.